Hey folks, Chris here. Now, this is a little different video than I normally make. I'm not selling this land. I'm not offering it to you. In fact, if I'm selling you anything in this video, I'm selling you on yourself, on what can happen when someone puts their mind to something, when they give it time, when they give it some effort, when they leave something better than they found it. So let's go for a walk. This is the story of a piece of land, just over an acre. This land right here that you see before you. This land was sold to a gentleman in his mid-50s. He went out here solo, just him and the land. And when we first talked, he mentioned to me that he was thinking about renting a tractor from Home Depot to clear it, to level it, to make it usable, make it drivable. And I wished him well and went on my way. Well, not more than a few months later, maybe less, I happened to be back in the area and I figured I'd stop by and say hello. What I saw honestly stopped me in my tracks. The entire lot was cleared, and not just cleared, detailed, landscaped, smoothed, thoughtfully shaped. It looked nothing like the typical untouched desert lot. It looked intentional, cared for. It looked, well, finished. I was impressed. I'd like you to take a look at that land. So after saying hello, we're chatting, and I casually ask, so how'd that tractor rental worked out? Looks like this whole acre has been cleared quite nice. And he looks at me and says, I didn't rent one. Okay. So then I ask, well, who did you hire? Because I'd like to know. It looks so good. It looks like they do good work. He says, I didn't hire anyone. So I paused and looked around again. And I said, you mean you did all this? He smiles and says, yep. Now I'm really looking around. He'd even trimmed the native yucca so they look like little palm trees. It was thoughtful and deliberate. It was fantastic, in my opinion. So I asked the obvious question, well, if you didn't rent a tractor and you didn't hire anyone, how did you do all this? He turns his head and gestures over towards his RV. Leaning against it, a shovel and a rake. That's it. So I say, are you telling me you cleared this entire lot and did all of this landscaping with just that shovel and that rake? He says, yep. Then he pauses and said, well, and one more thing. He tells me that as he was driving back and forth into town, he noticed an old box spring on the side of the road, been tossed there. And he said he planned to take it to the dump where it belonged. But before that, he took it, hooked it to the back of his Jeep and dragged it around the property to give the soil a final smoothing pass. A discarded box spring turned into a land leveler. And so here we are. One man, mid-50s, working solo, no heavy equipment, no hired crew. And from my eye, no shortcuts. Just vision, determination, consistency, and some time. He took land that looked like that, just beyond the borders, and turned it into this. And I'll tell you something, I think he enjoyed every minute of it. He inspired me, not because of what he built, but because of what he proved. That progress doesn't require perfect conditions. It doesn't require expensive tools. It doesn't require waiting for the right time. Sometimes it just requires picking up a shovel and starting. This is a true story, and these are real pictures of that land, both before and after. I hope it inspires you the same way that it inspired me, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. This is Chris, signing off I'm going for a walk. And bye-bye for now.